expert we love to turn to on national defence is Senator Jim Molan. Because, as we know, Australia, the United States and Japan currently wargaming as we speak, not too far from Rockhampton in Queensland, and a second Chinese vessel has turned up, just because they heard that the grub was good this time of year, I have no doubt. Senator, we've talked before about this. Everyone does it to some degree. They do it in international waters so they can't get pinged. But the fact that there's two vessels, apart from a little bit of muscle flexing, does it cause you any different view than when there was one?
No, it doesn't really. Two for the price of one. I think it's fantastic. It brings a degree of realism to an exercise, which I think is very, very valuable. But I'm still got my mind on Peter Ridd, who is an absolute icon, Paul. He's someone that is doing a fantastic job, and let's hope he is successful. But I would just say that we should, without doubt, agree that COVID and the inquiry and the economy are the most immediate problem that we face. But China is the most dangerous in the medium to long term. These spy ships are a manifestation of that. China sends them here because China sees itself as an adversary to the nations that are involved in this exercise. And this is a reminder to each and every one of us that war is not just possible because everyone's armed to the teeth. It's not just likely. In fact, it's becoming more and more likely every single day. We've just seen the most appalling threats made by China towards Japan that they will use nuclear weapons against them. They've made similar threats to us, Paul, as you might remember. Mm-hmm. They didn't say they'd use nuclear weapons. They just said they'd use their big missiles and a ton of explosives on the end. So, and the question I think that each and every Australian has got to ask themselves is, yeah, sure, COVID and the economy is today's problem, but we can walk and chew gum. We must be preparing not just our tiny little military, but our nation as a whole and our military. And the threats against Japan are just appalling.
Well, and this is it. I mean, look, every time we talk the past few times, I've made the same point, but it is that damn important, right? As you build the cat, Russia has done a deal with China to help them defend their territory, right? China views Taiwan as their territory. The rest of the world does not view it as their territory. It's a standalone nation. Japan is being openly threatened with nuclear bombs if they help Taiwan stand on its own 2 feet. The beginnings of a powder keg. You can see this all day, every day. And you're right. Sure, somebody's full-time job is the economy, somebody's full-time job is COVID, but someone's full-time job has to be this.
It certainly does. And a lot of people see the kind of threats up there as a single act, that a Taiwan scenario will be just a Taiwan scenario. This is going to be a significant act, and it will go on for a long, long time. And the Japanese are concerned because they're very concerned about Okinawa and very concerned about the Senkakus. America is concerned for the simple reason that every time they run a war game out there, in their delightful language, as they say, they get their asses handed to them in this war game, which is a lovely American way of saying they lose. Now, should we actually be pressured to provide our maritime and our air forces to a force that is going to deter China from doing something silly? We might find ourselves losing a major part of our defence force. We can't just plan for one activity. Talisman Sabre, the exercise up there, Paul, will be very, very good because our military is very, very good and our government, the coalition government, has funded it well. But it can do one thing in one place at one time, and that's not going to be the next war.